又嚟到翻譯影片啦。咁喺曼聯輸俾韋斯咸嘅賽後討論呢，曾經效力過曼聯嘅堅尼同埋上任領隊摩連奴都開金口批評曼聯近期嘅表現，以及討論咗福仔定位嘅問題。咁我哋首先一齊嚟聽聽佢哋講乜嘢先。
Coming through, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will be looking for positives right now. Jose, can you find any for him?
No, I can't find. We were bad last season, but I don't see any improvement this season. Even with 3 new players, and I have to say, players with a positive impact. I like the 3, and I think they are bringing some good quality to the team. But the team as a team, I don't like at all, and I'm not surprised by the result, and I don't think Ole can take any positive from the game.
Listen, I've known Ole a long time. One of the nicest lads you'll ever meet, and I can tell just by even looking at his eyes, he's fuming. I think he's disgusted. Listen, like any manager, he's going to come out and try and defend his team. We're talking about Manchester United here. We look at the first goal. I always go back. I always do, and I won't change my mind. We go back to the basics of football. It's closing people down, sprinting to people. And you look at the first goal, and it's summed up where Man United at the moment, you know. For all the lack of quality and lack of goal threat, just to me, the young boy James has come in. They're almost dependent on him to try and win another game. He's a young kid coming from Swansea. He's still learning his trade. Yet they're almost hanging their hat on him. Rice and Noble ran the midfield today. Thought they were excellent. Now I feel for Ole. I think his head must be spinning.
Are you talking about Manchester United, though, in terms of the badge, Manchester United, the club, rather than...
Yeah, I suppose I am. Yeah, I suppose I am.
Yeah,
there's always, I suppose, that little bit of, when you've played for the club, I suppose a bit of loyalty, and you appreciate the history behind the club. But the reality is, the number of times I've watched Man United where they're just not good enough. A lot of these players, we can be critical of players for, I suppose, I'll be critical of players who don't sprint and close people down. But a lot of these players aren't good enough for Manchester United. It's as simple as that. And we'll be having the same conversations throughout the course of the season. Just not good enough. And again, where do you start? Where do you start with this team? You're on about, they brought in some players, you're thinking, well, that's a bit of a start, they're better than what they have. But then you watch it today and you're thinking, I didn't see anyone kind of digging each other out. I didn't see. We talk about the goalkeeper, we talk about Maguire, these experienced players. I think my head is spinning as well, I'll be honest. I'll be joining Ole. I don't know where to start, I really don't.
Is it getting worse for Manchester United, Jamie?
Well, it doesn't certainly look like it's improving. I mean, Man United, I think the worst thing you can ever accuse Man United of is being boring. They are possibly the most exciting team they've been, or always had that tradition of wingers, flying wingers, goals at either end, things happening. And just watching that, you don't actually believe they're going to score a goal. I think the away games that they've had now, I think it was Southampton, Wolves, West Ham, they're not even playing good teams. They're not even playing the top teams. Talking about Liverpool coming here today. In some ways, it reminds me sometimes when I was at Liverpool, where people say, you know, you're Manchester United, you should do this. You're Liverpool, you should do this. But it doesn't matter what your name is. It's what's on that pitch right now. And those players are not better than, probably slightly better than West Ham's. And we had that a lot of time at Liverpool. And people think of your name, but if you haven't got the right quality, they're the results that you're going to get, and it's not going to change. And
Jose, is that point that Roy makes. It's one thing bringing young players through, but they have to be amongst the right senior players to be successful.
I agree. First of all, I think that is very important that the objectives are very clear for everybody. What are the objectives of the club?
What does it look like from the outside now?
From the outside, I think they will finish between 4th and 6th. But that's my point of view, and I don't think they are a team capable of fighting for top 2, of course. But I think would be a good achievement for them to finish top 4 and to be back to the Champions League.
Are you able, as a manager in that position, Jose, to make different decisions if the demand is not to win now?
Yeah, that's why I think it's very, very important for everybody to share and agree with the objectives. So if internally, I don't know, I'm just trying to guess, but if internally the objective is to try to finish top 4 and to build from there, and not at all the team thinking this season in fighting for the title, I think is a perfect environment to try to bring some young players and to try to build something for the future. But I think it's very, very important to know.
Even when there is young players coming through, and what you have to remind them, sometimes you talk about development, finishing top four. You're playing for Man United to win. Don't forget about all that. You know, people talk about development and finishing fourth. God help me if in our dressing room someone mentioned, can we finish fourth as a great achievement? He would have been lynched, absolutely. I know that the game has changed. But a couple of weeks ago I would have said United, I wasn't sure about top four, but having looked at Spurs and Arsenal over the last few weeks, I think United should be expecting to finish fourth, third or fourth. I think that's there for a lot of teams. And United still with the players that they have, should be capable of doing that. And that's where the pressure comes onto Ollie, because there has to be some sort of pressure on him. You can't be saying, well, we got a 2 or 3 year plan. That's nonsense as well. You got to win football matches consistently at big clubs.
How do Manchester United make progress from here?
I'm not the right person to answer to it.
How can they get closer again to Liverpool and Manchester City?
They are far.
How do you start bridging that gap?
I'm not the right person to answer to you. It's difficult for me to answer. I have been there 2 seasons where I could feel lots of positive things, and I could feel a direction to go through. Then obviously the 3rd season was not good enough. I was sacked, probably deservedly sacked, because I am the final responsible as a manager. But the sad reality is that they are worse than before. And for me, it's a sad thing. Maybe people think that I am enjoying the situation. I'm not enjoying at all. I have people in the club that I love. I have lots of respect for the fans, and for me, it's really, really sad, because when a team is, let's say, boring, you are boring, but you still get a result. And in this moment, I don't feel anything. I think they are going really, really to be in trouble to get not just into the top 4, attention with the top 6, and this with a sad voice and a sad feeling that I say that I think this team is worse than the team of last season.
The recruitment side of things, but you need obviously top quality players to win games. But it's the lack of. I've been in dressing rooms, particularly at United, even at Forest, the Stuart Pearce of this world. I go to United, character, men, leaders. You're surrounded by them. When you were at Chelsea here, you just remember Liverpool, the brilliant team, Liverpool today. A lot of strong guys out there, men, big arms, big shoulders.
If you're Rashford,
brave.
If you're Rashford or James, you're sitting in the dressing room Tuesday morning, and you're looking around, and who are you saying in 10 years' time, I want to be a pro just like him or like him? I know when I went to Liverpool, I could have done that. I want to be like him. I could have named 10 players. I hope I'm like that in 10 years' time.
But we were talking earlier, it's so hard to find those people, isn't it, Graham, now? The cost of those people. And as we were discussing earlier, who's going to want to go to Manchester United right now?
Man United will never have a problem attracting players.
Well, Roy, what do you think about that? Do you agree with that point?
I'm not saying the very best. They'll always attract players.
They'll always get players, but it's getting the very best players.
But I mean, how far do we think they're away from Liverpool and Man City? I know, but I said before about I've been in this position at Liverpool where you're always trying to catch Chelsea, trying to catch your United. It's never. I know what we're saying here. Poor today, it's never as bad as you think. Sometimes you just need that 2 or 3 players who can they find them, who sort of transfer. I think of Luis Suarez coming to Liverpool for 4 or 5 years, we're finishing 6th and 7th, exactly where United are. Almost won a title with Suarez coming in. Sometimes just that one player can sort of just make a huge difference.
But Jim, you just said almost won a title. You didn't win a title. You know, talking about Manchester United here, and there's a big difference between Manchester United and Chelsea.
Yeah, bridging the gap first. Forget the league.
Of course,
you need to bridge the gap.
Yeah.
So you need 2 or 3 players to start with to bridge that gap. At the moment, you're 6th or 7th.
That's right. But Liverpool are still trying to bridge that gap because they haven't won a league
I think
title.
they bought well this season.
Who?
United. I think Maguire is a player to improve. He's a better player than the previous central defenders in the club. I think James is, from the young players, perspective, it's fantastic. And Bissaka is also a better player than what
But should they-
United.
but
are
it's when they
previously.
come into the
so
club.
they
Should they have gone further?
they
Jose?
were fine. They were fine with
should they have gone further?
these three players.
But you should have to come into a good team. You should treat players like that. Maguire's 26.
And when you
Maguire
speak
still wants
about
to come into
when
a
you
dressing
speak, for
room.
example, about Rashford, there is the young and the young. Marcus Rashford, of course, is young, but 5 seasons in the first team. Louis van Gaal, he started playing with Louis van Gaal. 2.5 seasons with me, playing all the time. Half a season with Ole, playing all the time. This is the 5th season. I think it's very difficult to find a player with 21 years old or 22, I don't know, with so many appearances in the Premier League. So you cannot always speak about the young A, the young B, the young C. Come on. You know, in new generations, you want to be a man earlier than before. You want to be a top player also earlier than before. With 21, 22, 23-year-olds.
He's given his head in that
Forget
position, hasn't he?
He's not a prolific goal
But
scorer.
as Jamie says, we're not quite sure of his position yet, are we?
Well, they decided, Manchester United, you talk about, it's totally different to here. They decided to get rid of Lukaku, who, whether you like him or not, his record tells you he gets goals. So when they make that decision to move him on and decide Rashford is the man, and we've had this debate, obviously, when you were manager of Manchester United, is he a centre-forward? Does he want to play centre-forward? Is he better playing from the wide position? You think of sort of Mane or Salah, where you think he'll still get goals, but is he ever going to be Manchester United's centre-forward, that real down the middle? I think I said that last year. I'm not
The
sure if you
decision
were
was
upset with
made.
me.
The
against
decision was
Leicester.
made.
Come on, Jose, what?
When Lukaku goes and you don't replace Lukaku with a new centre-forward, the decision is made. It's because Marcus Rashford and Antonio Martial
Well, can he be the-
are the
How
two main
can that be-
strikers for the club with, of course, Mason Greenwood.
But how can you make that? How can someone make that football decision and say next year, I'm going to give the manager James, never played in the Premier League before, and Rashford, and Martial, who's in and out. You don't know what you're going to get week in, week out from him. I'm going to give the manager of Man United those 3 to get me the goals, and I'm saying get me into the Premier League next year.
But you don't know that. You don't know if Ole asked for a new striker.
No, but I'm saying that's how it looks from the outside. That's what he's been given to work with, and that's.
No, he's made that
I
decision.
am
don't think
not-
he's
He's a
been given that.
countryman.
I am not,
given
and
that.
I've never been politically correct. So when I'm not happy with something, I say, and I put myself into a difficult position by crying all the time about a centre defender. Ole didn't about the striker. I want
Well, he
to
seemed to
believe.
own himself then, hasn't he?
I want to believe that the decision was made. Let's trust Marcus Rashford to be our main striker. Let's trust Antonio Martial's desire of playing through the middle because he doesn't like so much to play from the side. And the decision was made on
Well,
that.
Joe, so you've worked with Rashford. You know him better than us. Would that have ever been your idea if you'd still been at the club 2-3 years in the future? He would have been the centre forward, or do you think he was suited more to that wide attacking role? Would you have ever gone with him as your centre forward for Manchester United?
No, probably the most important match of my period at United was the Europa League final. He was my number 9. So I'm not going to say that he cannot be a number 9. He can, and he can be a dangerous number 9, especially if the opposition is not pragmatic, is not close, give him space to attack spaces. He can be dangerous, especially in transitions. But when Manchester United is a team that normally, or maybe not as much now, but normally plays against teams that go to Old Trafford, close the door, bring the buzz, bring the double buzz, he is not a striker to play with the back to the goal. He's not a target man. He doesn't score as many goals as a striker should do. So I think from the side, he will get into numbers of 10, 12 goals per season. He's very professional. He works for the team. He understands what you tell him to do by the defensive point of view. I think playing from the sides, let's say a Mane position, I think he can be a very good player, probably better than a number 9. But he feels that he's a number 9, and I think the club and the manager now, they also feel he's a number 9.
There's not enough.
咁大家聽完之後覺得點呢？咁我覺得堅尼係一直喺度追歷史，不斷話而家嘅球員未夠班，以前嘅曼聯係點，佢打曼聯嘅時候要點贏，係追求勝利，唔 係要爭前4，又喺度追冠軍，話利物浦都仲未有冠軍等等。但其實講咁耐都係得個講字咯，同其他球評家一樣，一路都係講球員唔夠質素、唔夠勁，唔係世界級球星，要買人乜乜物。但其實呢幾季佢哋講嚟講去都係呢三篤皮，係冇意思嘅。而事實證明，曼聯係買咩人都硬係格格不入嘅，都係打唔出佢哋嘅水準。而摩連奴就表示，人腳既然已經成為事實，係咪應該專注點樣利用呢班球員去進步，而唔係不斷咁講球員唔夠好呢啲廢話呢？咁我係非常認同摩連奴嘅觀點嘅。現階段轉會窗已經關啦，係咁講球員費有咩用呢？即使以而家曼聯嘅成績亦都好難吸引大球星加盟，而且一定係好貴噶啦。咁所以曼聯年輕化嘅方向係正確嘅。曼聯硬件嘅問題未去到非常差，對比狼隊韋斯咸係絕對應該要贏嘅，唔應該輸或者打和，唔應該失分嘅。所以問題係軟件方面應該如何着手呢？戰術上係點樣利用呢班球員嘅特性？進攻有冇套路？球員有冇配合走位？咁呢幾場曼聯身上係完全見唔到嘅，都唔係呢幾場啦，係近幾季啊。咁下條片呢，我會分析曼聯對韋斯咸嘅敗仗，分析一下曼聯進攻有咩問題。